Hi, this is Sal Jade from the Psychic Healing Academy, and thank you so much for joining me for this short video on how learning the tarot can enhance your spirituality and your spiritual journey. So the tarot, in particular the Major Arcana, contains all of our universal spiritual lessons that we experience here on Earth. And so the reason why it's so important to study it is because it gives you a really quick reference to what's going on in your spiritual journey at this time and how you can master it. So it makes the tarot so much more than just an ordinary fortune telling tool. It makes it something that you can regularly rely on and connect with to understand what you need to do in your spiritual journey to get what you need out of your life. So, for example, when I'm teaching my tarot students about mastering the Major Arcana, I ask them to go in and connect each single card with something they've experienced in their lives as an experience and how they mastered it using great spiritual lessons. So, if I'm going to talk about, for example, the Hermit. So, before a client comes, say that I pull out the Hermit. That card is all about the great spiritual lesson of solitude and needing to go in to find your answers rather than seeking them from external healers or external sources or even external material rewards like alcohol, shopping, or any kind of addictions like that, or even working in your job too much as a way of fulfilling yourself. And the Hermit says to you, look, you have to go into your cave now and you need to find the answers about what steps to take next or what's caused what's going on in your life so that you can move forward. And this lesson is just such a tremendously powerful lesson. And by connecting with the tarot and learning it, you will learn when it's time in your life, or if you're reading for a client, when it's time in their life for them to step back and go into the cave and learn that lesson of the Hermit, of being on their own for a while in order to get what they need out of life. Another card that is really deeply connected to our spiritual lesson here on Earth is the Tower. Now, the Tower is all about your foundations completely breaking down and having a short dramatic shock that's really going to turn your world upside down. And this is a real deal breaker and a game changer, the Tower, because what it does is it really forces you to look hard at what has caused your current situation, what weak foundations that you relied on that were not quite what they needed to be for you to achieve what you're trying to get. So say, for example, if you've had a relationship breakup, and that's a classic Tower moment, and you're going through a lot of grief and pain about it, and you're really struggling to find that spiritual bliss and that journey and what you should be going through and what you should be doing next, then the Tower teaches you that, listen, those foundations were weak, and maybe you attracted something into that relationship that wasn't for your best and highest good, and maybe that there's stuff you need to shift so that you can move to the next level of attracting a partner that's going to be perfect for you. And in similar ways, if you've lost your job, and quite often this can be very traumatic, but the Tower, if you've gotten that as a spiritual lesson, means, look, you lost this job because there were certain foundations that are weak, and there's other things that you need in life and other things you need to be working on that are going to give you the job that's going to make you happy. So these are just two examples of how learning the tarot and mastering a card like the Major Arcana like the Tower can give you a deep sense of spiritual understanding of why you're going through what you're going through and how to master it. Another one of my favourite cards in the Major Arcana that is deeply attached to our spiritual journey here on Earth is the Star. The Star is always that peace after the storm. So that moment where you've had the Tower moment of losing your job and you get a new job and you suddenly find that you've got so much happiness and you realise it's because you had faith. So it's a card of having that deep faith in those times of crisis that you're going to be able to find the answers you're seeking. You're going to be able to push through and you're going to attract something better for your highest good. And that's the beautiful card of the Star that comes in, and mastering that spiritual lesson of having faith and just holding on to your faith in order to get what you need in life. And the last card I'd like to talk about that's really deeply connected with your spiritual journey here on Earth is the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about destiny and fate. And quite often in life we need to really be powering forward by creating our own reality. So that's the whole law of attraction and taking action and really being able to be the driver and being able to be the driver in your seat to be able to make stuff happen. But in the Wheel of Fortune, when we hit that stage in our spiritual journey and part of our spiritual theme, that's the universe saying, listen, there are certain things that need to take place in your life and you need to just sit back and let that change come in. Like, you can't be forcing things right now. You need to let go of control and just let change take you in the direction where you're meant to be. And so embracing this spiritual lesson of fate and destiny and trusting when you're meant to just trust the process, no matter what it looks like externally, is a big part of the tarot journey. And being able to know when you're in that phase and knowing when your client's in that phase is going to help you enormously with navigating the spiritual lessons here on earth. So I hope this short video has helped you in understanding how learning the tarot can be so much more than just a fortune telling tool, and how it can really help you with your spiritual journey here on earth and mastering your spiritual lessons. This is Sal Jade from the Psychic Healing Academy, and thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've loved this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or go to psychichealingacademy.com and find out more about my tarot reading courses.